Ataha Karaya come.
Read that again.
Kada, oh yeah, with the water. Kada Baraya come. Baraya come. Let me do it one more time. Kada Bara Yakam. Kan. Hawa'a Ashar. Yama Taza'a. Atawa. Yaha. Laya. Abide. Wa'atam. Taha Yawa. Nakwayam. Verse 11. Wayama Harewa. Wayawa Radawa. Ayash. Like it. Ayash. Ata. Amata. Khatawa. Aratiza. It's like it. Aratiza. With a ha on it. I think that ha sounds like. Waya. It's like you. Wayapa. Takawa. Ayash. Amata Khatawa, verse 11. Wayacha, verse 12. Verse 12, so like you. Wayacha Pash. Bagada Wala. Hakala. Wabakwa Tana. Kalaha. Wayasha Taza, or it's like you. Wayasha Taza, Wayama, it's like you. Let me get it right. Wayama Taza, Hagaba Ya I. I'm ready. Ba'a Mataza Khata. Salaki. Ba'ama Thakatha. Salaki. Read it again. Ba'a Matha Kath. Banaya Mana. Verse 13. Wayakwa Ra'awa. Samala Tama or Tam. Wayai Masa. Ayash. Ayal. Kamara. Wayasha Bawa. Ha'ai Yara. Verse 14. Wayaba'a Yahai Wada Wa'ai Khayawa Bayat oh it's like you. Bayatah Bayath house right home. Bayatah Bayath. That's home, man. House.
Right.
Yawasap. Waha wa'a. Awa danawa. Sham. Wayapa lawa. So let me do it again. Wayapalawa. Wayapalawa. Lapa. It's like here. Lapa nayawa. Aratiza. Whoa. 15. Waya'a mara. Laham. Yawasap. There it is. Maha. Hama'a. Shah. Hazaha. Ashor. Ashaya. Thumb. Halawa. Wada. Atam.
That's wa.
Wada. Atam.
That's a Yah.
Slakia. Yada Atam. Kaya. Nakash. Yanakash. Yanakash. Ayash. Ashar. Kama. Naya.
That's it.
Sorry, Christ. Did an excellent job, man. Reading that Hebrew ain't easy.
Yep.
And brother, he getting right through it, fighting right through it. Let's get it in the English.
44. Verse.
So now we got done reading the first 7 chapters, right? The first 7 chapters. Joseph instructed his steward to put a silver cup inside of the youngest son. Who was the youngest son? Benjamin, right? Benjamin in the Hebrew. To put it in his sack, right? And then once they were on their way the next day, and they would get ready to go back to their land, he had his steward to catch up with them.
That's right.
Of course, and to also accuse them of stealing a cup or stealing something that he had that belonged to Joseph, right? And so then they said, "Okay, well, search us. We didn't take anything." And then he goes and he finds the cup inside the youngest son, which is Benjamin's sack. All right, let's keep reading. Let's go.
First, Genesis 44:8, King James Version of the Bible. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold?
Right. So we gave you what we already had. Or how then why would we take anything out of our master's house? You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 9. With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die. And ye also will be my Lord's bondmen.
Right. So whoever stole it, if somebody, and this is more of an indicator, man, that even in this time period we understood our laws, right? Because these are men that saying, look, if somebody stole it, let them die. Let us be slaves, man. They understood that being a thief was a horrible crime.
That's right.
Being somebody who steals is a horrible crime. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that should resonate down the generations. Don't steal from your brother.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't steal from anybody. You understand? We're supposed to be a standard and an example to these nations and a standard and an example to our own nation. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we are properly following the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. And one of the things that he said not to do was to not steal. Now, however, neither one of them had sinned because none of them stole it. But there's as we read, we'll find out more, as to how this led up to, what this led up to. You understand? But for a good lesson out of this is, they understood that stealing was an evil thing, and they were ready for somebody to die behind it if it meant that was the case, or to even be to give themselves into slavery. So they're saying, well, if you find that cup, let the man who stole it be put to death,
right?
And everybody else become slaves, right? Read on.
Verse 10. And he said, now also let it be according unto thy words.
Said, okay, no sweat, that's fair. Let it be according to what you said. If that's the case, then what you said is what's going to happen. Right? Go ahead.
According to thy words, he with whom it is found shall be my servant.
And he made an adjustment in what was said. He said, okay, but the only thing is that whoever it is that stole the cup, he's going to be my slave. He's going to be the one of my slave. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? Okay, no sweat, slave, and you put the devil. All right, I'm going to tell you what I want. I want the one who took it to be my slave. Turn around, Natazah. Go ahead.
And Slakia. And ye shall be blameless.
And ye shall be what?
Blameless.
And ye shall be blameless. So whoever didn't take it, you can go on your merry way. But whoever did take it, they shall be my slave.
Sir.
Right? Is there any more?
Yes, more.
All right, good.
Verse 11. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground,
All right, so they took all of this, everything they own, they brought it down to the ground because they about to go through this and investigate. They trying to find and see who has what in there. And we trying to see who stole what. You understand? And they already knew, of course, somebody had it. He already knew somebody had it, but they didn't know that they had it. They didn't, like Benjamin didn't know he had it. The rest of them didn't know they had it.
God.
You know what I'm saying? But they knew that they had it. And go ahead.
God, sir. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground and opened every man his sack.
Open everything up. Just imagine, you know, just imagine like a detective coming in your house and just ransacking everything, going through everything. I want to see what's in here, what's in there. I want to see what you got. That's what they doing. They going through every little thing that they got, every sack they have. Go ahead, Doc.
Kind of reminds me of the Edomites and anybody else who want to come into our house without a search warrant. Just come on in, you know,
Right.
do what they want to do.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 12, and he searched and began at the eldest.
He began at the eldest, right? So he started with the eldest. Who was the eldest?
Reuben, sir.
Reuben. Started at the eldest, or what is it? How you say it? Rabawan in the Hebrew, right? Started there. He started there. You understand? And of course, he went from the oldest down to the youngest. Go ahead.
And left at the youngest.
Ended with stopped at the youngest. Go ahead.
And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
And surprise, surprise, it was found in Benjamin's cup. Did Benjamin steal? No, he didn't. They put it in inside of his sack. Right, go ahead.
Verse 13. Then they rent their clothes and laid it every man his ass.
Man, listen, they was in despair. You know, that was like tearing your clothes off and screaming and crying is just like a show of disparity, because you knew that you were about to lose. Like that was their baby brother. Benjamin was their baby brother. You understand? And it was like he now is going to be enslaved. You know, according to the man's words, he's supposed to now be enslaved for the rest of his life in servitude under Joseph or under this steward. You understand, for having that cup inside of his bag, right? And so they were distraught because what did Jacob tell him? Jacob told him that if they didn't bring him back alive, he was going to die.
That's right.
Because he had already lost Joseph. He already lost one, his brother. And he was like, well, don't come back without Benjamin, or I'm gonna die. Because Benjamin was his only son at the age that Jacob was. Jacob was at an old age, and Benjamin was his youngest son. You understand? Go ahead. Because everybody else was way much older. Go ahead.
So also, if I can say that when the Hebrews rent their clothes, that was like an act of shame, act of disgrace.
Right. Most High in Christ. Give him a hand. Go ahead.
Then they rent their clothes and laid it every man his ass and returned to the city. Verse 14. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and there fell before him on the ground. Let me read this again, sir. Verse 14. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground.
They fell before him on the ground. What was they falling up before him on the ground for? Why did they go back to Joseph's house and fell upon him? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, the dream was that they would do that also, but they were recognizing him as their Lord, high over them.
Right, absolutely. And then they also realized that he had the power to do what?
To take them out of here.
I mean, but he had the power also to stop that baby brother from becoming a slave for the rest of his life. Yeah, they recognized that he had a true power, but they also recognized that he was the man they had to go to in that situation as well. You understand? They, of course, still not knowing that that's their brother, the brother that they sold off into slavery.
Come.
You understand? Which was an evil act to do, but it worked out because the Most High wanted that to happen, which is what Joseph later on in the chapter explains to him. Right? The Most High knew that there was a famine that was coming, and Joseph was chosen from the time that they got jealous and wanted to conspire against him.
That's
to
right.
the time that he ended up in Egypt and became this great man. The Lord saw this coming and knew that that's what needed to happen because of that 7 years of famine that was coming. Right? Keep going.
Verse 15. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is that ye have done?
Joseph said, well, what did y'all do? Go ahead.
Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?
Read that again.
And Joseph said unto them, what deed is that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?
Like, don't you know that I can tell you what's going to happen? Don't you know? Don't you know I know what the future beholds? Yeah, like he's letting them know. You know, I know this. That's right. The power. That's how Joseph became in power. It was through his understanding or through the prophecies that was given to him by the Most High, the dreams that was given to him. You understand about the famine that was going to take place in the earth.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I've got to go back to the Tanakh.
Okay, back to the Tanakh. Let's get it.
Where we at? 16?
16.
Where we at? 44, 16?
44:16. This is Genesis chapter 44, verse 16, out of Hebrew Tanakh, verse 16. Waya'a Mara, Yahawada, Maha. Let me see 1 minute. Na'amara, La'a Danaya, Maha, Nada, Salakia, Nada Mara, Wamaha, Nataza, Tada, Salakia, Nataza, Taza, Tada, Kwa.
We go back and read that again.
Nataza, Tada, Kwa. Ha'a lahayam mataza ha mataza a ata awan aba dayaka ha hana nawa abadium la'a Danaya, Gam, Anakha, Nawa, Gam, Ashar, Namat, Taza'a, Haga, it's like a Hagaba Ya'ai, Bayadwa, verse 17. Waya'a Mara. Khaya, or Salakia, Kala, Yala, Laya, Ma'a, Shawata, Za'ata, Salakia, Ha'a, Salakia, Ha'a, Yash, Ashar, Namat, Za'a. Haga, it's like a Haga Baya'ai Bayadawa Hawa'a Yaha Laya Abad Wa'atam Alawa Lasha Lawam Allah.
We're on 18?
Almost.
Okay.
Aba Yakam.
18 now, right?
Yeah, 18 now, verse.
Okay.
Wayagash, verse 18. Wayagash. Alayawa. Yahawada. Waya Judah. Waya Amar. Waya Amar. Baya. Ada. It's like Ada Naya.
You pronounce it better, Adonaiah.
Adonaiah.
You know, like Lord.
Adonaiah. Yada Bara. Na'a. Abba Daka. Abadaka. Let me see what I missed. Like, yeah. Dabara. Ba'a Zanaya. Ada Naya. Wa Allah. Yakhara. Apak. Apaka. Apak. Apaka. Apak. Ba'ai. Badak. Kaya. Kama waka. Kapa. Ra'aha. So like in verse 19. Da Naya. Adonaiah. Sha'Allah. Ata. Abad Yana. Abad. It's like you. Abba. Dayawa. La Amara. Hayash. Lakam.
What's that lakam?
Lakam bread, right?
Right.
Lakam. Abba. Awa. Aha. Verse 20. Wana Amara. Allah. Adonaiah. Yash. Lanawa. Abba. Let me see. Zaquan, that's beard. Salakia. Waya Lada. Salakia. Zakwa Nayam. Kota Salakia. Kotan. Wa'a Kayawa. Math. Oh, sorry, I said Mata. Mata. Wayawa Thara. Hawa'a Labadwa. La'a Mara Mawa. Wa'ai Dawana Dayawa.
Go back. Read that.
Okay. Wa'ai Bayawa. Aha Bawa. Verse 21. Wata Amar. Allah Abadika. Hawara da Hawa Alaya wa Shayama. It's like I'm do that over. Wa Shayama. Aya Naya. Alayawa. Verse 22. Wana Amara Allah Adanaya La'a Awakal Hana Ara La'ai Zaba Ata Abad Yawa Wa'ai Zaba Ata Abad Yawa Wamath. Verse 23.
That's it.
All right. So now Judah is gonna talk to Joseph, right? Now Judah is gonna speak to Joseph, and he's gonna plead for his brother in this situation, right? So we're gonna get right into it. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Verse 16.
Genesis 44:16. And Judah said, "What shall we say, my Lord? What shall we speak?"
So read verse 15 first.
Come, sir. Verse 15. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that ye have done?
What have you done? Right? Go ahead.
What ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?
So he's like, so I know what you did. Did you not know that I wasn't gonna know what happened?
Right,
Or what
right.
went on?
Right,
You understand?
right.
Or what went down? Right?
Sir.
Keep going.
Verse 16. And Judah said, what shall we say to my Lord?
Well, he saw Judah saying, what should I say? I don't know what to say. Keep reading.
What shall we speak?
How can we explain this? What should we say in response to this? How do we explain what is happening right now?
God.
Go ahead.
Or how shall we clear ourselves?
How should we clear ourselves? In other words, how should we prove our innocence?
Right.
How can we prove, that we didn't do what we did, that's what's going on?
God.
You know what I'm saying? That Benjamin didn't steal that cup.
God.
All right, how can we do it? Keep going.
God have found out the iniquity of thy servants.
He said the Most High is punishing us, man, for some sins that we've done. Like, this is the only way that I can explain it. Because otherwise, we wouldn't have. We didn't take it. We didn't do this. We were innocent. No sweat, but go ahead.
Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found.
Read it again.
We are my Lord's servants, both we, and he also with whom the cup is found.
Right. So we're willing to be your servants. We're willing to be your servants, and we wouldn't do that, and we're willing to be your slaves for that matter, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 17. And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the men in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant.
Yahweh, you understand, which is Joseph in the Hebrew. He said, nah, I'm not gonna do no such thing. I'm not about to put y'all in slavery. I just want the man who stole the cup. The rest of y'all, go ahead.
And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose the hand cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get ye up in peace unto your father.
Yeah, go back to your father in peace. I just want the man who stole the cup. That's it.
That's right.
That's all. Right?
Answer.
Go ahead. So now Judah about to step up in the game, and he about to say, look, he about to go ahead and make his case. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ear, and let thine anger burn against thy servant.
Right.
Thou.
Read it again.
Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears.
Yeah, allow me to speak to you in private. Allow me to speak to you something real quick. All right, please go ahead.
And let not thine anger burn against thy servant.
And let not thy anger, meaning don't be angry with me for what I'm about to tell you or what I'm about to talk to you about. Don't be angry at me because I still want to plead this case. Because at this point, Joseph was like, well, nah, let's just, just give me the boy as a slave, and y'all keep it going. And he's telling them not to be angry at him because he don't want him to get mad. Like, why are you still talking to me about this? You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get it. Let's go ahead and do this. But you understand, he didn't realize who he was talking to, man. He didn't realize he was talking to his brother who had that whole situation set up for this purpose anyway.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead.
Let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh.
You understand? He's saying that don't let your anger burn against me because you are even as powerful as Pharaoh, man.
Come, sir.
You understand? He recognized the power that Joseph had, inside of that land, even though he didn't even know that was Joseph. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 19, my Lord asked his servants, saying, have ye a father or a brother?
He said, one time before you asked me, and if you go in the previous chapters, you can see this conversation. And he said, you asked me, do you have a brother or a father? Right? So basically, he's reminding him of a conversation that they had. Right? Any more?
Yes, sir. Verse 20, and we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man,
We have a father who is an old man. He's referring to Jacob, right?
Sir.
Read on.
and a child of his old age.
And a child of his old age. He was
Sir.
referring to who?
Reuben.
No,
No,
it's not
a
Benjamin.
child of
It's
his
the
old
other
age.
one, not Benjamin, but the youngest one. What's his name?
Who was the youngest one?
The youngest one was Benjamin, right? It's like if
Right.
Was it Benjamin?
Right.
I thought
That's
he had
who-
one before that. Okay.
Benjamin. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about Benjamin of his young age. He was referring to Jacob and Benjamin. Read on.
A child of his own age, a
Uh-huh.
little one, and his brother is dead.
Right. And his brother is dead. Who was his brother that was dead?
Joseph.
The man he's standing right in front of.
God, sir.
Right. He's saying that this brother is. He said I have a father of old age, and he has a son, a young son, of old at his old age, and then he has a son that is dead. Right.
God, sir.
He's telling this to the son that is supposed to be dead. Right. Keep reading.
He alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him.
So in other words, that's the only child that he has by his mother, right? Because Jacob had many wives, and of course he had children by different wives. But from that particular wife, that was the child that he had, Benjamin, from her, particularly. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And thou saidest unto thy servants, bring him down unto me.
And so he reminded him when he told him to bring them down to the land of Egypt so that I can see them for myself. Joseph wanted to see his father, man. He wanted to see his youngest brother. You understand? He wanted to make sure his father was okay and good or whatever. He wanted to see him for his own eyes. Well, so go ahead.
And thou saidest unto thy servants, bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him.
Right. Go ahead.
And we said, verse 22, and we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die.
Shalaki, let me make a clarification. He wanted the youngest son, which was Benjamin, to come to Egypt so he could see him with his own eyes, right? And what they were telling him is, we can't bring him because if we bring him, it's going to kill our father.
Right.
Because our father didn't want to see him depart. He had already lost a son. You understand? And it would kill him if he lost another son. You understand? Especially his youngest son, who he had by his wife that he dearly loved. Right? Read on. If there's any more, of course.
That was it.
That was it?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's get back to the Hebrew.
We're going to go to
All right.
8.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 44, verse 23, out of the Hebrew Tanakh.
Reading to 31, right?
God,
Okay.
it's like ready when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. Wata'a Mara Allah Abadika Ama La'a Yarada Aha Yakam Ha Salakia Hakwat Nah Hakwa Tana. Or is that Hakwat Tana? Hakwa
Tana.
Tana. Hakwa Tana. Ata. Well, Atakam. La'a. Tasa. Wana. Oh, let's select it. Tasapa. Tasapa. Wana.
Just say Tasapawan.
Got you. That's a pawan. Lara Awata Panaya. Verse 24. Wayahaya Kaya Allah Yanawa Allah Abad Yaka Abba, no, it's like it. Abba, Daka, Abadika.
Not Yah.
Yeah,
not Yah in there.
that's what I'm getting.
Just go ahead.
Yaba, Daka,
Okay.
Abaya, Wa, wanaga, da, lawa, ata, daba, raya, ada, naya. Verse 25. Waya, amara, aba, yanawa, labawa. I'm a slacky. Ooh, wee. Shabawa.
All right.
Shalaki. Shaba rawa. Lanawa. Lanawa. Ma'ai. Slaki. Ma'ata. Akala. Verse 26. Wana'a mara. La'a. Nawa kala. Laradath. Yasha. Hacha. Yanawa. Hakwa. Slakia. Hakwa tana. Ata nawa. Slide. Let me do it again. Ata nawa. Waya radana wa. Kaya Allah wa la'a. Nawa kala. Lara awata. Salakia. Panaya. Ha'ayash. Wa'a khayanawa. Wa'a khayanawa. Do it again. Wa'a khayanawa. Hakwa. I need help with this word. Hakwa tana, right? Hakwatan. There was some pronunciation.
You say hakwatana, but I think it's how we want.
Hakwatana. Aya nanawa. Ata nawa. Verse 27. Waya amara. Abadika. Well, abad. There you go. Abadika. Abaya. Alaya nawa. Atam. Yada atam. Kaya. Shana yawam. It's like it. Shana yam. Yala. It's like it. Yalada. Yaladaha. I think that's silent, huh, right? Yalada.
Let's go ahead and read.
Okay. Laya. Shataya. Verse 28. Wayatiza'a. Ha'a khada. Ma'a taya. Wa'a mara. Aka. Tarapa. Wala'a. Ra'a yata yawa. Aid. Hanaya. Verse 29. Yala kwa. Khatam. Gam. Ata. Zaha. Ma'ayam. Oh, Asalakia. Ma'aim. Panaya. Wakwa. Raka. Let me do it. Ooh, wee. Asalakia. Wakwa. Rahawa. Asa. Wana. Waha. Roda. Tama. Do that over. Waha. Wara. The thumb. Ata. Sabataya.
Sha.
Yeah, Salakia. Shaya Bataya. Bara Aha. Sha'a Laha. Verse 30. Wa'ai Taha. Kaba'aya. Allah. Abad Abaka. Aba deka. Abaya. Selagi. Wahai na ara. Ayana nawa. Ata nawa. Wana pasawa. Kwashwa was not Kwashawa Raha. Banapa Shawa. Verse 31. Wahayaha. Kara Atawa. Kaya. Ayan. Hana Ara. Wamath. Yahawara Yadaya. Wahawara Yadawa. Let me do it one more time. Waha Yawa Raya Dawa. Abad Yak. There we go. Abadika. Ata. Saya Bata. Saya Bath. Like it. Saya Bath. There it is. Abadaka. That's Abadaka. It's like it. Abad Yanawa. Bayaga Wana. Sha'a Laha.
31, right?
Oh, we started at 23.
Yeah, so it looked like y'all went more than 7 verses, didn't it?
Well, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we did.
No sweat. So
Sorry,
where did we leave off at?
We did verse 23.
Let's get it. Get it fast.
And thou saidst unto thy servants, except thy youngest brothers come down with you, ye shall see my face no more.
That's what Joseph said. Joseph said, you're not going to see my face anymore unless you bring him down here. Right? What could that mean for them? That means you won't get anything else from here. Well, I won't be able to provide you with anything. You won't be able to see me anymore until you bring that young child here.
Right.
Right?
Gone.
So they knew they knew eventually they would have to do what they had to do because there was going to be some need for food. Right? Keep going. 24.
And it came to pass when we came up to thy servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord.
So we went down back to our father and we told him what you said. Right? Read.
And our father said, go again and buy us a little food.
And our father said to go back to Egypt and get some more food. We'll get some more sacks of food because we need this food. You know, this famine is getting crazy out here. You know, we need more food. We're running down. Right? And then they replied to him, what?
And buy us a little food. And he said, and we said, we cannot go down.
We can't go down there unless what? Read.
If our younger brother be with us.
We cannot go down there what?
If our younger brother be with us.
Right. We gotta go. We gotta take him with us. We gotta take Benjamin with us. Right? Benjamin got to go with us. If we go back into that land to get some more food, we cannot return there without him because we were ordered to bring him back so that he can be seen. Right? Go ahead.
Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our younger brother be with us.
Right. We're not going to be able to see his face. We won't be able to see him and see the man who gives us the food that we need. We won't be able to see his face. We won't get the chance to see him unless we bring Benjamin down with us. Right? Keep going.
And thy servant my father said unto us, ye know that my wife's and thy servant my father said unto us. Take your
time. Just start over from the top.
And thy servant my father said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons.
My wife bare me 2 sons. You know this. He's reminding them that. Go ahead.
And the one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn into pieces.
And the one went out from me, and surely I believe he died. I believe he was torn to pieces by a beast or an animal. Right? That's what he's telling him. He's like, I already lost a son. And he believed Joseph was torn up by some animals. That's what he was led to believe, being that his son never returned back home. Correct? Right? Keep going.
And I saw him not since.
And Jacob said, I saw him not since. Read on.
Verse 29, and if ye take this also from me,
If you take Benjamin also from me, read,
and mischief befall him,
and mischief befall him, meaning something happens and he either ends up in slavery or he dies or something bad happens, you get lost. Right? Read on.
ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
You're going to bring this old man to the death. You're going to put this old man in the grave. You're going to put your father in the grave if you return back without my son who I love. You understand? I've already lost a son. That was what he was telling his sons. He was like, I understand. Yeah, we got to get some food or whatever. But if you take this boy with you and don't bring him back, I'm done. I ain't gonna be able to handle the despair. I'm not gonna be able to handle the grievance of losing another son after I just lost one. Right? That's what he's trying to tell them. Go ahead.
Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad not be with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life.
See, now he's telling Joseph, he's saying, if I bring this child back if I come back, you understand, without this child, I wouldn't be able to withstand the despair and the heartbrokenness of my father, you know what I'm saying, knowing that I know how much he loves his son.
Yes, sir.
His life is bound up in this boy. He loves him. I couldn't dare sit around my father knowing I was responsible, you know, for not making sure he got back there, man. You know what I'm saying? Judah trying to look out. He like, listen, man, come on. Like, I got to do something. I got to talk this man into not taking my father's life.
Don't come.
Because in essence, if Benjamin don't come back, you know, my father ain't going to be the same.
Don't
It's
come.
going to take him right to death. Right? Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die.
Yeah, if you don't see that lad is with me, with us when we come back, he gonna know some mischief happened, man. He gonna know that he was either enslaved or dead. And that's how he gonna look at it, because that's what happened with Joseph, man. You know, and that hurt Jacob. You gotta remember, Jacob ripped his clothes off and rented his clothes when he learned that Joseph was no more, man.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
And thy servants shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant and thy father with sorrow to the grave.
That was it on?
Come.
Yeah, that was the last verse. Then y'all read.
You got.
We read
that
up
was
to
the last one we read up to 31, sir.
yeah, to 31.
Okay,
You wanna
so
go
that was the
past
last
that?
one. No. Go ahead and well, we got 3 more verses. You might as well go ahead and just read the last 3 verses.
Come, sir. Verse 32. For thy servant becomes surety for the lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever.
In other words, he guaranteed to his father he would take care of that. He was going to take care of Benjamin. He told Jacob, he's like, I'm going to take care of Benjamin. I'm going to make sure Benjamin come back. And he was also willing to bear the shame of not bringing him back, because he made an oath to his father that he was going to bring that son back. And you know, in the truth, when you make an oath, you have to keep it. You know what I'm saying? And he would have had to live with the shame if Benjamin did not get to go back to see Jacob, to be with Jacob, like he's supposed to be. You understand? All because he was caught up in a situation of mischief, and it caused him to be a slave forever, or even dead, man. You understand? So he's letting them know. He's like, I promised my father I would look out for this boy. You know what I'm saying? I was going to bring him back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to live with the shame if I have to. Go ahead.
Verse 33. Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord.
Now therefore, read it one more time.
Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord.
Allow me to be a bondman instead of him. Allow me to be a slave instead of my youngest brother, my father's youngest son. Allow me to be a slave. That was brotherhood, man. This is a man that was ready to throw his life away to make sure that his brother got a chance to be free. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, we don't do that with each other, man. Today's time, we don't give a damn about each other. In 2021, we could march up and down the street and yell Black Lives Matter, but we do so much wicked and evil to each other that only can be corrected by us coming and getting the Holy Spirit of the Most High, the Holy Spirit of Christ, man, getting these teachings and understandings in this brotherhood. Got an excellent brotherhood class that's been taught by Office Priest and Officer Maradaki on Tuesdays, man. Get in that class so you can learn the essence of brotherhood, man. The true spirit of how you're supposed to conduct yourself with your brothers and sisters. So you'll learn to be this compassionate, man.
That's right.
That way you could be this compassionate the way Judah is, and wanting to throw away his life in servitude towards to what he understands as an Egyptian ruler. You understand? Instead of being back at home, instead of being a filthy, evil bastard, and allowing his youngest brother, who was innocent, to be there and be enslaved. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
If I could, you know what I'm saying, like that, and just like you said, like that just shows you the spirit behind Judah, because naturally Judah, we want to give a damn about our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But we just so brainwashed with white supremacy and social media, mainstream media is just now to the point where we hate one another and we combat one another when all naturally it's within our DNA to love Black Spanking Native Indians.
Yeah, right.
Like I said.
Now give him a hand. That's true. And even furthermore, it is so much compassion, and of course I'm not deviating from any of the other tribes, but also when I want to say this about Judah, man, it is embedded so heavily in us that not only we want to even love the tribes, we are the most loving people in this earth. We want to love every goddamn body, which has been our problem in this earth. We can't love everybody, man. We can show compassion to the other nations. There's nothing unlawful about that.
Right.
But we can't love the other nations, man, like we supposed to love Israel, man. We got to love our people, man. We got to follow law, statutes, commandments, and we got to do right to each other in brotherhood. And so it was just a beautiful thing to know that Benjamin had a older brother who was willing to throw his life away so that he wouldn't have to be a servant for the rest of his life, and so that he didn't have to witness his father dying in despair because of losing another son, man. His father, who was such a great and powerful man, who had great sons, who all birthed us today. Like these is our forefathers, man. They had to make decisions that could have caused us to either be here or not be here. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord, of course, was with them and was with Joseph in the situation, and was also with Judah. Let's keep. Is there any more? Yeah, we're gonna finish the chapter off. Go ahead.
For verse 34. For how shall I go up to my father, and then how should I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me?
Right.
Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
Right. He couldn't bear to see, you know what I'm saying, the despair that would come on his father because of that. All right, we get into the next chapter, so let's go ahead and get into it.
You want to get the next chapter?
Yeah, we're going to get 7 more verses.
Okay, come on.
All right, I'm going to step to the back.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 45, verse 1, out of the Hebrew Assyrian Tanakh. Wala'ah, Yakala, Yawasap, Laha, Da'a, Pakwa, La Kala, Hana Taza, Bayam, Allah, Yawa, Waya, Kwara'a, Hawataza, Ya'awa, Kala, Ayash, Ma'a, Laya, Wala'a, Amada, Amide, Ayash, Atawa, Baha, Tawada, Awasap.
We'll go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yawasap.
Yeah.
Allah. Acha, Yawa. Verse 2. Waya, Tana, Ata, Kwala, Kwalawa, Babakaya, Waya. Shama awa. Mataza rayam. Waya. Shama a. Bayata. Bayata. Para. Ah. Verse 3. Waya a mara. Ya what's up? Allah. Haka yawa. Anaya. Ya what's up? Ha'ai. Hawa. Salakia. Hawa. Salakia. Ha'ai. Wada. Abadya. Wa abaya. Salakia. Abaya. Khaya. Wala'a. Yaka lawa. Aka. Salakia. Akha. Yawa. La'a. Nawath. La'a. Nawath. Atawa. Kaya. Naba. Nabaha lawa. Mapa nayawa. Verse 4. Waya amara. Ya what's up? Al wa Allah. Salaki. Allah. Akha yawa. Gashawa. Na'a. Alaya. Waya gashawa. Waya amara. Anaya. Ya what's up? Akha. Salaki. Akha. Yakam. Ashar. Maka. Ratam. Ataya. Mataza Wayama. Verse 5. Wa'ai. Wayata. Allah. Ta'ai Taza Bawa. Wa Allah. Yachawa. Yachara. Ba'ai. Yana Yakam. Do that over. Ba'ai. Yana Yakam. Kaya. Maka Ratam. Ataya. Hana. Kaya. Lama Khaya. Shalakha Naya. Alahayo. Lapanya Kam. Verse 6. Kaya. Zaha. Shanata Yam. Shanata Yam. Shanatai. Hara'aba. Bakwa Rabba. Ha'aratiza.
The earth.
Yep.
Rataza.
Ha'aratiza. It's like you. Wa'ai wada. Let's like it. Kamash.
What's that?
Kamash.
There you go.
There we go.
Kamash.
Five.
Right.
All right. It's like I love it. Kamash. Sanayam. Ashar. Ayan. Karayash. Wakwa Taza. It's like Wakwa Taza Yara. Verse 7. Waya Shalakia. Waya Shala Khanao. One more time. Good night. Waya Sha Lakha Naya. Alhayam. Lapanyakam. Lashawam. Lakam. Sha'a Salakia. Sha'a Rayata. Salakia. One more time. Salakia. Sha'a Rayata. Ba'a Rataza. Wala Hacha Wata. Lakam. Lapa Lata. Layata. One more time. Lapa layata. Gada la'a. Oh, it's like it. La gada.
That's it.
It's like it.
Verse 45, Slakia, chapter 45 in Genesis.
Yeah, that's fine right there. Yeah, that's fine. I'm listening. Go ahead, Doc.
Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, cause every man go out from me.
So he gave an order to all of the men in there, all of his servants in there to leave, get out of there, because he's standing, of course, he's standing there in front of Judah, you understand, in front of his brothers, and at this point he's just ready to just go ahead and reveal to him what's going on, who he is. So he sends all of his servants up out of the room, right? Go ahead.
And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren.
And there stood nobody, none of his servants that was there. There stood none of them, but just him and his brothers. And that's when he let himself be known to his brothers. Go ahead.
And he, verse 2, and he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard.
He wept so loud. Just imagine a brother just crying, man. He wept so loud that even the servants in other chambers of the palace could hear him weeping. All his other servants could hear him in other rooms and in the hallways crying. That's how hard he was crying. Could you imagine how much pain he had in his heart? How much sadness he had from not being around his brothers and being around his father for such a long time? Like, these are years that went by, since this happened. And of course he missed them, man. You understand? And it brought him to tears and made him cry, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3, and Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, doth my father yet live?
He said, I am Joseph, I am Yahweh.
Right.
Doeth my father still live? He wanted to know if his father was still alive. Is Jacob still here? You understand? Go ahead.
And his brethren could not answer him.
His brother, he was astonished. His brother's like, y'all niggas see this? Salakia. They just like, oh my God. We've been standing there the whole time talking to our little brother, the one we sold off into slavery. Salakia. You about to say something?
I was just going to say the revelation of Joseph.
Right. Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, doth my father yet live? And his brother could not answer him.
Brother could not answer.
For they were troubled at his presence.
They was troubled at his presence. It was just like hard. It was like, damn. like this man we saw in slavery is the man over Egypt. You gotta understand something. Egypt was a very, very powerful nation. That's why America models itself after Egypt and places like Rome. At one time, Rome was a very, very powerful nation. At one time, Babylon was a very, very powerful nation. Everybody had to go to Babylon, to Egypt, to Rome to get food, to get anything, a job, anything. You know what I'm saying? And when you were made an official or a leader or a whatever over that land, a land such as Egypt, you had great power. And to see their brother who they sold off to some disgusting Arab slave traders,
right?
You know what I'm saying? End up, you know what I'm saying, as a leader in Egypt, they know it had to be God, but they were astonished, man. Like they had a heart. It was just like, what? It was just like they couldn't even say nothing. They just imagine seeing that and not being able to say a word because it's just crazy. Like you just imagine what's going on in their head at this point. Go ahead.
Verse 10, and Joseph said unto his brethren, come near me, I pray you.
And Yahweh said, come near me. He told his brothers to come near me. Go ahead.
And they came near, and he said, I'm Joseph.
He said, look, I'm Joseph, man. I'm Yahweh, man. I'm your little brother. I'm your brother. I'm here.
Right.
Go ahead.
I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Whom ye sold into Egypt. Right? Go ahead.
Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves.
Yeah, don't be grieved nor angry because you imagine. Can you imagine facing that sin that you did, that evil thing that you did, and you regretted it? And you knew they hated what they had done, but it was like now it's like now they're seeing him and they probably are just upset and sad and grievous, man, for the thing that they had did to him, and then they're standing right before him, after all of that has happened. Go ahead.
Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourself that you sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life.
Man, he reassured them and gave them some comfort by telling them, like, look, if God made sure that I got here where I needed to be at. I needed to be here.
That's
you
right.
understand? Because if not, then how would we have prepared for this famine?
That's right.
How would we have prepared for this 7 years of famine? Turn around. How would we have paid? How would we would have dealt with this 7 years of famine? You know what I'm saying? God put it on the Most High put it on my spirit, or gave me these dreams. You understand, to be able, not these dreams, so like it, be able, the power to interpret these dreams that the Pharaoh was having. You understand, so that we could live. You understand? So it needed to happen. The way it happened was the way God wanted it to happen, man.
God.
Go ahead.
For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years.
But we have already dealt with 2 years of famine.
Right.
We still have 5 more years.
Right.
You understand? I need to be here. I need to be able to let everybody know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And be able to prepare for it, because it was because of his understanding and the interpretations of what the dreams that the Pharaoh was having, that he was able to, you understand, to save the earth from being impoverished and from being, from being starved out because of a famine. It was because of that. They had a chance to store up the houses with grain, man, to get it prepared. Right? Go ahead.
Yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest.
Right?
And verse 7, and God sent me before you to preserve your posterity in the earth, and to save your lives with a great deliverance.
Oh, we read that one more time, man.
And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives a great deliverance.
Yeah, the Lord sent me, man. You got to remember, they couldn't stand when Joseph was young. They couldn't stand. They couldn't stand Joseph, because
Right.
Joseph was saying things that he knew were going to come to pass. And they for a while, they was like, who do you think you are?
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
If you go back into the chapters, who do you think you are? What are you saying? Y'all going to serve me? Because you remember when he kept saying at some point in time they were going to serve him
And bow down.
to him. And they was like, who the hell is you? What the hell are you talking about? You mean I, your father? I'm going to bow down to you? What the hell are you talking about? You hysterical.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't realize that this man was already chosen by the Most High.
That's right.
At that point, to go and do this thing, man. And if it wasn't for Isupk, man, they wouldn't have been eating, man. They would have
That's
been
right.
starving to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to end it right there, and we'll pick back up on what happens next. You know what I'm saying? And what else Isupk has to say to his brothers, man. And it takes a great deal of strength. I'm going to add this too. It takes a great deal of strength to forgive, man. You understand?
That's right.
But at the same time, what did Christ say? Christ said that you must forgive your brother 7 times what?
7.
70 times 7, which means you always keep forgiving him, right?
God, sir.
You keep forgiving him. You keep forgiving her. You understand? That's what we're supposed to do all the time. If your brother offends you, you know what I'm saying, you go to him and him alone. And of course, if he doesn't hear you, you know what I'm saying, you take him to counsel. However, whenever it's all said and done and there comes a conclusion to the entire matter, and it's a time, and now it's time for it to be forgiven, you must forgive. You know what I'm saying? And so Isupk was an excellent example when you read on in this of a man that forgave his brothers even though they did something horrible to him, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the spirit we need to keep on us. We got to be ready to forgive each other and to deal with each other like men in here, man.
That's right.
And deal with each other like real women. And when we have an issue about something, you know what I'm saying, we go and we deal with those issues the correct way, man. And also, don't let the sun go down on your anger, man. You know what I'm saying? You go and you deal with your issues with that brother and that sister, or that sister with them and them alone, and squash whatever issues you have and forgive, man. Have the same amount of strength, that Yahweh had when it came to his brothers and what they did to him. Because he still, even after being sold to those slaves by his own blood, still had enough strength to not put them to death and enslave them. He forgave them and showed them mercy, man. You understand? That being said, Amadium. Like, I ain't trying to get you drunk, guys.
Good. La Yashra Allah.
La Yashra Allah. Blow the horn. Most High Christ.
Yeah.
All right, men of Israel, prepare to salute the Torah. Yahba Hashem Yashabrak Yah.
Yahba Hashem Yashabrak Yah.
Y'all Bashim Yah Shabrak Yah.
Let me make a quick correction real quick, a quick demonstration of how we must start saluting the Torah going forward. All right, if you could face me while we're doing this. When you salute the Torah, and that's my bad for not doing it as well. But we from now on we must make sure that we stand in the Madium Shabbat, then the Madium, and then Yahba Shemi Shabrak Yah. All right. So for now on we'll do that. You could turn as well. All right. Prayer Salaki. All right. Walk on your hawk with him. Turn towards the east. Gonna say the prayers in the Hebrew and then in the English, and then close out the Sabbath service.
The Lord's Prayer. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Laputka.
Laputka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Batazayaka.
Batazayaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Asha.
Asha.
Barataza.
Barataza.
Nawah.
Nawah.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Latan.
Latan.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Call.
Call.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Nawawak now.
Nawawak now.
Wasalak now.
Wasalak now.
Nawawak now.
Nawawak now.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Baba'aya now.
Baba'aya now.
Wanasayawan.
Wanasayawan.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashaya now.
Awashaya now.
Maya.
Maya.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Hamalakwa.
Hamalakwa.
Allah.
Allah.
Wahatapara.
Wahatapara.
Sahawalamya.
Sahawalamya.
Aman.
Aman.
All right, in the English, our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name,
hallowed be
thy name,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom
thy
come,
will be done,
thy will be done,
in
in earth,
as it is in heaven,
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day,
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our
as we
debts,
forgive our debtors,
as you forgive our
and lead
debtors,
us not,
and lead us
into
not
temptation,
into
but
temptation,
deliver us from evil,
but deliver us
For
from
thine
evil.
is the kingdom,
For thine is the
and
kingdom,
the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
I caught the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Shah.
Baba Kashab.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan
Akak.
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 Larpa'ah.
Larpa'ah.
Kamalaka.
Kamakala.
Lakal.
Lakal.
Marawa.
Marawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Lataha.
Lataha.
Amatazarian.
Amatazarian.
Akak.
Akak.
Lahakwiel.
Lahakwiel.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Akak.
Akak.
Al-Rakawath.
Al-Rakawath.
Amatalah.
Amatalah.
Lagarshan.
Lagarshan.
Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Hashem Yahweh Shah.
The water.
water.
Aman.
Amen. This is what we said in English. Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
please give us the power,
Please give us the power.
to heal,
The power to heal.
all manner of sickness,
All manner of sickness.
and all manner of disease,
And all manner of disease.
the power to cleanse the lepers,
The power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to raise the dead,
The power to raise the dead.
the power against unclean
The
spirits,
power against unclean
to
spirits.
cast them out,
To cast them
in
out.
the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Nawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Nasrallah.
Nasrallah.
Yabayaf.
Yabayaf.
Hariam.
Sapariam.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'ah.
Rapa'ah.
Magad.
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 Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Water.
Aman.
Aman.
Amen. This is the prayer that we send up to our loved ones. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Bless us and Israel.
Bless us and Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless him, shield, and protect.
Bless him, shield, and protect.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalms 121. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Mahawaria,
Mahawaria,
Mahayan,
Mahayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Azoria,
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 Ma'aim,
Ma'aim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Asha,
Asha,
Yashamayim,
Yashamayim,
Ma'aratazah,
Ma'aratazah,
Ayatan,
Ayatan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Magalyaka,
Magalyaka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Wanala'ah,
Wanala'ah,
Anawam,
Anawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yashun,
Yashun,
Shamar,
Shamarka,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Zalka,
Zalka,
Ayad,
Ayad,
Yamyanka,
Yamyanka,
Yabwamam,
Yabwamam,
Ayshamash,
Ayshamash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
La'arak,
Yala,
La'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Yakal Rai,
Yakal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Af,
Af,
Pashka,
Pashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Za'atka,
Za'atka,
Wabawatka,
Wabawatka,
Ma'ata,
Ma'ata,
Wa'aid,
Wa'aid,
Walam.
Awalam. This is what we said in the English. I will lift up my eyes.
I will lift up thine eyes
unto the hills.
unto the hills,
From whence cometh my help.
from which cometh my
My
help.
help cometh from Yahweh.
My help coming from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and
He will
earth.
not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right
The sun
hand.
shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee
Nor
by
the
day,
moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going
And
out
thy coming in.
and thy coming in.
From this time
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Adamaya.
Adamaya.
Laka.
Lakah.
Laka.
Aldamaya Laka.
Adamaya laka.
Aldakarash.
Aldakarash.
Wayal.
Wayal.
Shachukwat.
Shakwat.
All. Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Ayawabadyaka.
Ayawabadyaka.
Yahama.
Yahama.
Yawan.
Yawan.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Almakah.
Almakah.
Yarmawa.
Yarmawa.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wayata.
Wayata.
Yatazawa.
Yatazawa.
Altazawanyaka.
Altazawanyaka.
Armawa.
Alewa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakadam.
Wanakakadam.
Magaya. Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yakaza.
Yakaza.
Sham.
Sham.
Yasharala.
Yasharala.
Yawada.
Yawada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Natazawa.
Natazawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Al Yaka.
Al Yaka.
Bariath.
Bariath.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Arawam.
Arawam.
Wa.
Wa.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Alahayam.
Alahayam.
Mawaba.
Mawaba.
Wagorium.
Wagorium.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wamawan.
Wamawan.
Wamalak.
Wamalak.
Alashat.
Alashat.
Am.
Am.
Yashapyaka.
Yashapyaka.
Kazawar.
Kazawar.
Gum.
Gum.
Ashawar.
Ashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Imam.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Zarawa.
Zarawa.
Labanya.
Labanya.
Lawat.
Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Asha.
Asha.
Laham.
Laham.
Kamadian.
Kamadian.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sara'an.
Sara'an.
Barian.
Barian.
Manakal.
Manakal.
Lakwashwan.
Lakwashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Bayan.
Damayan.
Dara.
Dara.
Ayawa.
Ayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
Ladama.
Ladama.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Lada.
Lada.
Yamadwa.
Yamawa.
Kara.
Kara.
Wazakaba.
Wakazaba.
Wakazabak.
Wakazabak.
Wakadazal.
Wakadazal.
Ana'ai.
Ana'ai.
Call.
Call.
Nasa Yakamwa.
Nasa Yakamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Armarwa.
Armarwa.
Nashara.
Nashara.
Narasha.
Narasha.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Af.
Af.
Na'awath.
Na'awath.
Alahaya.
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 Shamatha.
Shamatha.
Shalakia. Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kalagaya. Gaya.
Kalagaya. Gaya.
Lakwash.
Lakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Laka'a.
Laka'a.
Kawash.
Kawash.
Taba'ar. Ya'ara.
Taba'ar. Ya'ara.
Wahalaka. Wakalaba,
Wakalaba,
Kalahat,
Kalahat,
Hawariam,
Khan,
Khan, Daradakma, Wasaaraka, Wasaba,
Wasaba,
Pathka,
Pathka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Balaa,
Balaa,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Palawan,
Palawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Lakwashwa,
Lakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Yashba,
Yashba,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahalwa,
Bahalwa,
Ayaid,
Ayaid,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kapar,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Dawa,
Dawa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Aftha,
Aftha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Nabadwa,
Nabadwa,
Ayawan,
Ayawan,
Al-Kaharataza.
Al-Kaharataza.
Most High Christ. All right, in the English, this is what we said. Keep not thy silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee,
And they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
Have
lifted up thy
They
head.
have taken crafty counsel
Have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted
And consulted
against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden
They
ones.
have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off.
let us cut them off
From being a nation.
from being a nation,
that the name of Israel
that the name of Israel
shall be no more
shall be no more
in remembrance.
in remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And
the
Of
Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Ashur is also joined with
They
them.
have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As unto Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kissar.
At the brook of Kissar.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at
They
Endor.
became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung of the earth.
Make their nobles like Arad.
Made their nobles like
And
Arad.
like Zaab.
And like Zaab.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as Zabah.
All their princes as above.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who
Who said,
Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of Yahweh.
the houses of Yahweh
In possession.
In
possession.
Oh Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a
like a
wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
They stumble before the wind.
As the fire burneth a wood.
As the fire burned the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute
with
them.
thy tempest.
With thy
And
tempest.
make them afraid.
Make them
With
afraid.
thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy
That
name.
they may seek thy name.
Oh Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And
And trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to
shame.
shame.
And perish.
And
perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That
thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Are the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
Sar, before we close out the Sabbath services, is there anybody that wants to be anointed today? Sorry, Christ. Just make a line right there. All right, you can set that down. Malad,
When we go down,
you're going to give them the oil.
when they go down there,
Yeah, you can. That'd be too hard. Well, you're going to have to come back up, though. Just go down to oil her head.
that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay. Step up a little bit closer, Shara. All right, just come in behind the table. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Yawah.
Yawah.
Aliyakah.
Aliyakah.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ah.
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yawah.
Yawah.
Aliyakah.
Aliyakah.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashim.
Bashim.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
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 Hagun.
Shirah.
Sharah.
Shirah.
Sharah.
Shirah.
Sharah.
Bashim Yahushua.
Bashim Yahushua.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman.
All right. This is what we said in English. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless, heal, shield, and protect. All right, go ahead. All right, you ready? Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Yawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Adara.
Adar. Adar.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect. All right? Come on, daughter. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ah.
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Adana.
Adana.
Adana. Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless, heal, shield, and protect. Right. Sign of Christ. Be careful with that cord. Y'all don't trip over that cord, all right? Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ah.
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun. Natazah. Natazah. Natazah.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless, heal, shield, and protect.
Damn right.
All Christ. All my children coming up here to get anointed. Most High Christ. All right? Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Stand up right here. Stand right here. There you go. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ah.
Yasha'ah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Panyawah.
Panyawah.
Al-Yakah.
Al-Yakah.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Ayana.
Ayana.
Ayana. Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Aman.
Aman.
This is what we said in English. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect. All right? With that being said, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Amadim Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatah.
All right, Yadi Matah, Sar, towards the sisters. One courtesy salute to the sisters. Amadim Shabbat, Amadim Barak.
Yahweh Shema Alatah Ba'ashem Yahushai.
All right, Yadi Matah, dismissed.